So I wanted to kind of come up with a couple of things that I thought, were really what I had seen. And I'm not going to name names because here's the thing, family. Here's the thing. Can I be honest with you? I think that we've made a version of masculinity that is absolutely unattractive. It's not attractive. The things that I'm seeing that men are portraying and they think it makes them look good to other men. If that's the goal, to look good to other men, then you guys are winning. But if your goal is to attract women, you're losing. And so I really want to start off with number one, okay? Because I'm not. Let me take the things off because let me get my hair together. My hair looking all right. Okay, got a little oily because my trainer be working me out too hard. We about to get into it. Let me make sure I got a style that if I act up, it at least can stay. Okay, we ready to go? Yes, we are. Okay. Number one that I feel like is what we say is masculinity, but is not masculinity at all. I don't understand why it seems to be very attractive in our today's society to brag about how little you do for your loved ones. And I'm talking about the person you say you lay down with. I have no idea why we think that that's an attractive quality. What about not caring for people that you are actively sleeping with and having children with? What about that makes you feel like a big bad wolf? Like, what about that is like, let me brag and talk about how like I'm in control of whatever. And so, yeah, I'm not a provider. I'm a conditional provider. What about that is godly? And what about that has anything to do with what men came on this? I don't understand why we find so much pride in not showing up for our loved ones and not showing up for people that we're laying down with every night. I don't understand what is such an attractive thing. What do you think is attractive about saying, yeah, I'm successful, but I'm not a provider? Then what's the point? I'm sorry. I'm not married. I'm not in a relationship. I'm waiting on God's best for me. But as I make money and I'm able to do things for my child, there is something about being able to provide for my child and provide for my loved ones, even if they're not my kids, people that are connected to me, blessing people that are close to me. This is not even people that I'm sleeping with. These are people that they show up for me. They do things. They go out of their way for me. Being able to give to them and to show up for them, it does something for me. Anybody that knows me is I'm a generous person. I'm generous. It just is what it is. I am. But this whole like, oh, yeah, I do barely nothing for the people that I'm close to. That's greed. That's pride and that's ego. There's nothing about that has anything to do with God. That has everything to do with culture. That has nothing to do with God. That is not a godly man. That is not who. Thank God don't do us the way we do other people. You weren't blessed with those things just to be a blessing to yourself. You were given blessings to be a blessing. I truly believe that. And I'm not saying you out here just giving money to every woman you decide to meet. No, I'm saying this. If you are in a situation with somebody and you are like, first of all, let's start here. If you're in a situation, I think men should be sexually disciplined. I don't think you should be out here sleeping around with women you have absolutely no future with. I think men should be more mindful about who they lay down with. That's what I truly think. I think a lot of men are laying down with spirits and principalities they have no idea, and they sit out here and they're wondering why there's things that are happening to them in their life, why things are falling through, while it seemed like it was going up, and now it's going down. It's because of the fact that you have decided to open yourself up to a spirit and a principality that is going to wreak ruin in your life. And well, that's what I'm supposed to do because I just have a lot of money. So I just need to be sleeping with everybody. No, that's stupid. Just because as a woman, I may have access to men and I can say, you know what, let me sleep with a different man every single night just because I can. Let me just open my legs to everybody that I might as well got the access. You would be looking at me like, what's up with you? But yet when you have options, you feel like it makes you more what? To be sitting here sleeping with something that's half decent, somebody you won't even want to talk to tomorrow. That's discipline. That's legacy building. That's generational curse breaking. Absolutely not. You should be more chaste than women because you have more to protect. Men want to say that they're scared of divorce and that's why they don't want to get married. Well, then you should also be thinking about who has access to your body and who's able to have your children. We should be just as conscious of that. Oh, I don't want to marry her, but I want to have like multiple kids and I'm going to end up giving her money anyway. What? And that's masculinity? When is masculinity shied away from commitment and covenant? When is masculinity shied away from responsibility? It's like nowadays men are so afraid of commitment and responsibility that they're like, oh, responsibility. Whoa, hold on. Don't want to do that. I don't want to be responsible. No. Take away the responsibility. I don't want it. How is that masculine? Running away from responsibility because you're scared? That's masculine? That's masculinity. No, you know what masculinity is? Masculinity is taking dominion. Masculinity is taking responsibility for what is yours. Masculinity is being able to say no to your body. When your body want to do something, like, nah, sit down. Yeah, she look good, but she ain't worth what I got at home. Masculinity is saying, yeah, I'll say I do because I can say no to my flesh. Masculinity is having not only dominion over yourself, but over your household. That's masculinity. Masculinity is taking responsibility for what is yours. Not bragging about not having responsibility for what is yours. Bragging on couches about, that's not cute. That's not godly. And then you want women to submit. Like I want to be a woman that submits to my man. I want to be a submissive party. I want to be the person that when we lay down at night, he runs things by me, but ultimately he makes the decisions. That's what I want. I really do. I want a strong man. I want a dominant man that comes in. He don't have to scream. He an alpha man from the top of his vocal cords. He just walks in and I just feel his energy. He's just dominant. And here's the thing, family. When I was growing up, the way my dad was a protector and a provider. My dad is still a protector and provider. My mom married my stepdad. My stepdad is a protector and a provider. My brothers are protectors and providers. I only know men that protect and provide. I don't know this generation that brag about not being a protector and not being a provider. In fact, I know in my world, they take pride in taking care of their family. That's the type of men I know. Like even tonight, my daughter was, it's her birthday. And so my brother goes and he gets all these things for my daughter, just clothes, shoes, all the things. He don't have to do that. But he takes pride in taking care of his family. He takes pride in taking care of his family. When have we made a lack of discipline, not being a protector and a provider, masculine? Walking in fear, not doing the things that God has called you to do, and finding biblical loopholes to justify your sinful lifestyle. I'm sorry. Masculinity is a man that takes accountability for what is his. All I'm saying is that we've made men that make money but don't want to take care of people. They want to make it for themselves. They want to just, it's all about themselves. They don't want to commit. They don't want to call things what they are. They shy away from anything that's real. They run away from it because they're afraid of it. you know, so how is that masculine? How is moving in fear masculine? How is moving as a walking reaction masculine? Men are to take dominion. God created y'all with the internal fortitude to take what is yours. But we sit here cowering in fear and calling it strength. Say, oh, I don't want responsibility of that. I don't want responsibility of my kids. I don't want I don't want to be responsible for the woman I'm laying up with. I don't want to be responsible for this. I don't want to be responsible. I don't want what if I have to pay for something? What? I'm sorry, family. I'm sorry. The same God that I believe this with all of my being. If I have to, if God forbid I have to leave a situation, go somewhere else, do something, I believe that the same God is going to provide for me. I really believe that. I believe I don't need to stay anywhere broken because I know that God will provide. But when we're dipping and dodging responsibility and we're calling it strength, when we're running around, sleeping around with anything that looks half decent and we're calling it strength, when we are being run by our flesh, we're watching corn, we're engaging with all these different things. We're investing our soul, our spirit, our focus into things that will ultimately lead to our destruction. I'm sorry, I don't call that strength. I call that weakness. When you can't say no to you, that's not strength. When you can't say no to other options, that's not strength. When you sitting here saying like, oh, I don't like commitment. Whoa, hold on. Whoa. I mean, I do want to enter your body. I do want to enter your being. And I want to get all up in there, but I don't want the responsibility of that. That is not strength. If you don't want the responsibility of a person, of a human being, of somebody's emotions, don't enter. I don't enter into these situations. Why? Because I don't want the responsibility I don't want that soul tie. I don't want that connection. Could I be, let's be clear. Could I be out here sleeping around doing whatever? Yes, I could be doing that. I've decided for years at a time not doing that. Do you think that's easy for a woman? No, especially not me. I'm not going to get more into that because I'm not trying to get nobody's mind going. My whole point in saying that is it's not easy to be disciplined. It's not easy to say no to your flesh. It's not easy to do those things. But in today's culture, instead of locking in and accepting the challenge, we find a shortcut. Like we look at the weight loss situation, family. Like, oh, it takes too much work to actually control ourselves. So let's inject ourselves with a foreign substance to help us lose weight, even though we don't technically need it. We're in a society of just being, we try to find the shortcuts to things, and what the cost is a part of our soul. The cost is a part of our health. The cost is a part of our calling, because we're looking for shortcuts. And I'll be honest with you, as men, I'm sorry, as men, like what I'm seeing, like when men are creating a bunch of different homes and they're not taking responsibility of one, and they're trying to justify it with Bible, that's blasphemy. You gotta be careful with that. If you're watching me, you gotta be careful with that. God don't play. If you have seen people that have lost their entire platform, everything they built because of how they presented things, they said they're men of God, but yet they're doing these things behind the scenes. As you can see, God exposes. Be careful with how you represent God. Be careful about that, family. God don't play. God don't play about his likeness. God don't play about his name. Don't come out here saying you a man of God and you misrepresenting what that is. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, y'all. Let's not just be every once in a while. Let's become family, okay? Friends that are family, okay? Join my family today.